1 Million Cups is a weekly educational program developed by the Kauffman Foundation.
Over the years, we've added more cities. It creates a great energy here to see what's happening across the country.
What I've learned from other entrepreneurs is very, very valuable.
Sitting in a room with other people that have ideas too, it helps people to leave thinking, you know what, my idea is worth something. It's worth pursuing. It's worth going after it. Even if it looks like a challenge, I should still go out and try to do it.
Good morning, Kansas City. Hey, that was actually pretty good for us on a Wednesday morning. Great to see you here. Welcome to 1 Million Cups. We are a weekly educational event sponsored by the Kauffman Foundation, where we bring two entrepreneurs up and they share their entrepreneurial journey. Today we have a alumni that's going to give us an update on what they're doing. We'll bring him up in a few minutes. And who's here for the first time? Raise your hand if you're here for the first time. All right. Keep your hands up for a second. Awesome. Toby, who's here for the first time?
My name's Toby. What's your name?
Julia Velasquez.
And Julia, tell us how you heard about 1 Million Cups and what are you doing here?
I don't know. It's my very first time. Just here to learn about the businesses and meet people and check it out.
Cool. How did you hear about 1 Million Cups?
A friend came and recommended it.
Oh, great.
Thanks. Glad you're here.
Welcome. Welcome. All right. Before we get started, I want to announce that if you've been here before for the last 6 weeks or so, we were showing you a video for the 1 in a Million contest. And out of 377 entries, they've narrowed it down to the top 40. And we have the following companies from the area that made it to the next stage: Bloom, Eagle Palette, Idle Smart, Second Life Studios, Give Some, and Tin Man Prince.
Tin Man Prince?
It was me. I did not want to do this announcement, but I'm now doing it. So we do not have an expert panel today, so we have to be on point, guys, to get these questions going. So let's go ahead and get things started. We have Tommy Saunders and KC Saunders up here to share, I want to say, can I say Feudum or Feudum? Feudum. Welcome. Let's hear it for Tommy and KC.
Hello, can you hear me? All right, cool. All right, good morning. Like I said, my name is Tommy Saunders. This is my wife, KC. We just got married 6 weeks ago. So this is new for us, presenting as a married couple. Company Feudum, it just stands for everybody who doubts me. We're a fitness company that's trying to integrate technology into our fitness products. So where we're different is our patented ball bearing system. All of our products use a patented free-falling system. So a lot of products are bidirectional. You go back and forth with them. All of our products, you go in 360-degree motion with them. And also, our phone app, you attach it right there in front of your face and it gives you your workouts. So you can do all your rolling exercise, all your med ball exercises. And what our plan is in the future is to gamify this. So imagine like Fruit Ninja, okay? Cheeseburger comes across your screen and you slice it. French fries, slice it, all right? That's kind of where we're going with our technology, integrating our technology into our products. I'll speak a little bit about our products later, but I kind of want to tell you guys the process of what it got to get to this stage. These products look very sleek and sexy, but it did not always start out like that. Okay, a lot of entrepreneurs, I'm sure you guys you're drawing stuff in your notebooks and you're going to Walmart and trying to figure stuff out. And this is kind of how I came up with the product to see how big I wanted it. Bought a basketball, attached some handles to it to see the size and stuff. So we'll go to the next slide. Then we ended up here, Rock 360. It took us 3 years to get to this stage where we're actually able to sell a product. I'll let Casey talk about that process and what it took from, design to where we are now.
Okay, so in 2010, Tommy came up with a product, and it took him, I would say, close to 3 years to get it developed. And we sold our first unit in 2013, and once we found out that we had a product that had potential, our next question was, who is our customer? So we spent a year traveling across the country. We went to fitness shows, we went to top collegiate programs, we went to marathon expos trying to get in front of our customer. We shook their hands, we answered their questions, we pretty much got an intimate knowledge of who our customer is. So basically what we did is we bought a trailer, we loaded it up with hundreds of Rock 360s, and we got 9 miles per gallon all across the country. So after doing that, we brought that information back to Kansas City, hoping that we could partner with a marketing company and launch the product. But it didn't turn out to be a success story. It really turned out to be more of a lesson for us. So what we did was, after having a couple complications and trying to figure out how to market the product, we decided to do it ourselves. So in January of this year, or actually just the beginning of this year, we started testing with the information that we knew on Facebook, which is, the most logical place to start, and we had a lot of success. I'll let Tommy talk a little bit about the ads.
So whenever we go to these trade shows, you have 50 people come up to you and you're having to sell the product right there to them. So if a man comes out, I'm out there giving hard workouts and doing different stuff. If a woman comes up to us, Casey will give the demo, and we can really target the individual that we're going to. I played football at the University of Missouri, so some of these trade shows, we'd also go to stop at Ohio State. We'd stop at the Chargers, Miami, Louisville, all these Division I programs. We walk in there, give them a 2-minute demo, they're like, yeah, we'll buy 15. So we're seeing huge success selling out at every trade show, but we had to figure out, how do we take that online? Because going to direct-to-consumer was really how we were going to scale this business. And so we tested on a Facebook campaign. We sold 2,600 units in a little over 90 days. We grossed 180,000. Our cost per sale was 36. We started out at $250 cost per sale and got it down to $36 cost per sale within 90 days. We had a 2.73% conversion rate. 95,000 people visited our site. Our average order was $70. So this process of market research, I wish I could sit here and say, hey, we're going to go scale the country to do our market research, and then we're going to take that online. But that's not how it happened. As an entrepreneur, you're just pivoting. You're finding something out. As somebody asks you a question, like, okay, I don't know that at all. Let me go do some research. And that's really what we found out by going to these trade shows, interacting with our customers right away. So being an entrepreneur, you're always trying to go after every single opportunity, every single capital raise, every opportunity that's out there. And so I met a guy at a trade show, and he introduced me to this reality show in January. Okay, I thought it was bogus, didn't know anything about it, and somehow I got casted for this reality show. I just got done shooting. I'm going to show you a quick promo of this reality show, and then we'll go into where we're going with the company. We'll stop it right after this.
Entrepreneurs, welcome to Sweating. Fitness is a multi-billion-dollar industry, and we are looking for the next fitness phenomenon.
Obstacle racing is the fastest growing sport in America.
The Gridiron Power Series.
Cycle and row is my baby.
The shock-absorbent, low-impact workout.
Free running allows you to run up walls, vault, land, and roll.
I'm totally intrigued. It's a brutal competition. You need a background in fitness with a business mind.
Every single person who didn't believe in me, I'm going to prove all of them wrong.
Being an entrepreneur is the heart.
So all of a sudden, we're going to have this national exposure. After our Facebook success, we're going out to start, hey, we got to raise capital. We know we were going to be successful on Facebook. I need to raise capital, inventory, and we're going to just create this slow and steady pace through Facebook that we can control. All of a sudden, get casted for this reality show. 6 weeks later, this reality show is going to launch in 8 weeks. It speeds up everything. Raising capital. Now we have to go. You can go to the next slide. We have to raise capital for this. We got to start getting on retargeting, rebranding. I learned so much from this. So Spike, let me go back to Spike TV. Right here, yeah, perfect. The Spike TV launched their last reality show. Let me give you some more context of the show. The last reality show that they launched, they had an average of 2.9 million viewers every episode. They had 2.9 million viewers per episode. I'm going to be featured on 2 episodes, so it is going to be huge exposure for our company. And so now we're really in this spot where we have to rebrand because I learned a lot from this reality show. They're digging into it. Our company's named Feudum, right? Nobody knows what that means. If I have to explain Feudum, then I have to explain Rock 360, then I have to explain our new product, the OmniBalls. There's a disconnect. And speaking with Jillian Michaels, Randy Hetrick, the owner of TRX, they really dug into me and really drilled me with those hard questions. And really from that, it was like a crash course in our company. So we rebranded omnidirectional training. So whenever I'm talking about our company, omnidirectional training, 360 degrees motion, phone integrated technology, works all your abs all at the same time, from beginners to professional athletes. That's talking about our whole product, what our company stands for, and then I can get down into what each individual product does. And so that's kind of where we are, and go to the next slide. This is our product, and then so now let's just open up for questions, kind of all over the place with that. So we'll start with questions. Yeah.
Here for you.
What kind of marketing research did you do to get to your price point?
The trade shows. Going to the trade shows, we started out knowing that people wanted a discount. And so, and it didn't matter. It really didn't. So we would go to the trade show. Our price was $90, $89.95. You get 10 DVDs with it. They're all 20 minutes. You get a knee pad, the phone clip, exercise chart, the whole package that you see right here. When we go to the trade show, we started selling it for $60. Then we started selling it for $40 and $50 to get a test. Same conversion rate. We felt like it didn't matter what the price was. They just wanted a discount. We started when we noticed when we started driving traffic to the website that we needed 3 different price points. So we have $60, $75, and $89 price points. And the reason why we start at $60 because most ab products that you see and consumer products are right around $40. So branding it with the technology, the phone app, we feel like we can increase that value to $60 and then upsell to the DVDs. But also, it's too much of a message to be able to try to tell you why our product is better, how we integrate technology, and then start talking about our DVD system and why you need to take our DVD system. So really what our goal is to tell you about why our product is better, why it's better for you and how you're going to benefit from it. And then once they get to the checkout, then we can start talking about the DVD system, how that's going to help you.
I would just add to that. Tommy kind of started to allude to that toward the end. I think obviously the price point is important. People need something that they can afford, but convincing them that there's value in the package starts to bring that question down for them. When people are saying, oh, it's $70, it's $89, but when you can say, hey, there's 10 DVDs with it. Most fitness systems now are just 12 DVDs. We have a product, we have the phone clip, we have the knee mat. So adding value, I think, is more important than the specific price point.
Another question for you here in the middle.
Hi guys, first of all, congratulations on your success, and especially with your Facebook ads and everything. But one of my other questions involves other social media challenges. So what other challenges have you found with social media and marketing with social media, and how have you guys overcome them?
Our biggest thing that we noticed, we do the 3 posts a day, tweeting, Instagram, everything. When we tested all that out, our biggest thing is we're trying to get somebody to take action, right? I'm not trying to get likes on my page. I'm trying to sell Rock 360s. And so our biggest challenge was to really figure out where can we get people to see it and buy this product. And Facebook video ads was it for us. We did SEO. We did Instagram. We did all that stuff. And that stuff helps build our brand. When we go around and when I go to the gym and we're at trade shows, people recognize our product and who we are in the fitness industry to some extent. But Facebook video ads, creating ads, can you pull up that the video? I'll show you one of our ads. But having a feel on Facebook, it's a social network. So people want to talk about things that they're interested in. So what we saw is creating ads that are less like your typical infomercial and more content that you could share to people and share to you, hey, look at this cool product. And that's kind of what our focus was on that, because we'll do all this to build our brand, but at the end of the day, we're trying to get conversions, not just to our website, not just to likes on our page, but people actually purchasing product.
And on top of that, I think one of our biggest hurdles was understanding that each specific social media platform is a different beast. You can't treat Facebook like you treat Twitter or like you treat Instagram. And in the beginning, we just would find a piece of content and put it on every channel. And people respond to different things on Twitter. You only have 140 characters there. People want quick information. They want an image that they can understand immediately. So just trying to figure out the advantages of each platform and utilizing it. So yeah.
I have a question right here in the middle.
Yep.
Good morning. Fantastic exposure with the reality show coming up. That's a dream come true. Quick question regarding, you're talking about raising capital for inventory. I'm wondering if you've thought about, you're obviously going to have to make some investment with the manufacturer up front, but if you've thought about just doing drop shipping from that manufacturer, which would erode your margin a little bit, but it would keep you from having to invest a larger amount and having inventory sitting in a warehouse.
Yeah, the product is just not made yet. So we have, on the reality show, this is our second product. The Rock 360 is what we ran our Facebook ads on. Our second product, we were gonna ramp up gradually with the Rock 360 through Facebook ads and then develop this product second quarter of next year. Whenever I was on the show, they said, hey, I'm trying to win the competition, of course. And like, do you have any other products? I'm like, yeah, here's our new product. We're gonna release this next year. So they're 4 pounds each, so you can do all your curl to presses, all those different exercises, but as you're down, you can do all your like yoga poses, right? So you can do like your child's pose. You can easily transition over, do your curl to presses, work in your obliques, all the different stuff. And they thought these product was absolutely amazing. And so this is where I really focused on the reality show. So it's not only is this capital for inventory, but it's also developing this product. And we're in such a short time crunch with the show airing in 8 to 12 weeks. I don't know what episode they're going to put me on. But that's kind of where we are. We just have to get them here. We're going to pre-sell two, and then we'll say, hey, they're going to be available December 1st or whatever. But that's kind of the plan for that.
Question in the back center.
Hello. You talked about your sales costs for online. Mm-hmm. What was it versus the trade shows?
As far as the price point or cost per sale?
The price point.
The price point. Trade shows, we're selling at a discount for $60, and that's what we sell online. But there's two different, where you're going to a trade show, people are expecting a discount. So at the trade show, we're marketing $89.95, but only today, you get it for $60. And then online, we're saying, hey, the starting price is $60, you can get it here. And then we also have $89. And Casey can talk to you about what all she did to help our conversion rate on Facebook with commenting on the post.
So I think it was actually kind of just, spur of the moment type thing. But what happened was when we started getting all these comments on Facebook, I decided that I was going to reply to everyone. And whether it was a negative comment or a positive comment, I would either send them a link to some information about how abdominal rollers are one of the best things you can do for your core, or just dispelling any misinformation, anything that wasn't accurate on
Weight person?
Huh?
An overweight person?
Yeah, like a lot of people would say, no overweight person could possibly do this, but we just happen to have some testimonials from overweight people, so I'd send them the link, So I think that had a lot to do with gaining traction on that ad. People saw that we were actually responding. So I think just interaction is a lot more important than you think. You can't just let an ad run and expect that everyone's going to completely understand. If they make a comment, that's an opportunity for you to educate one of your customers.
And Casey's downplaying this. There was 5,000 comments like on one video. So it's not like, there's 30 comments, she's going, there's 5,000. We're getting, 20,000 likes on a page or on an ad. So she's going in there. And what really we saw is not necessarily like, you see somebody, hey, this is the worst product ever, and Casey's in there talking about it, and you get that person to be like, oh, okay, it is pretty cool, I guess, right? But then every new person that comes in, they start reading the comments, they see this one person, you know, Joe, and he goes down, he's like, oh, he had a negative comment. They actually are responding to people, and that's going to help this person convert, not necessarily the people that are making negative comments, but it's also building that brand. It's not, it's really bringing that, telling the whole story once people get there. That's kind of our ideas. Get their attention, get them to come where we want them to come, whether website, whether Facebook ad, and then be able to tell that story in more detail.
Question in the middle.
Hey, Mr. Saunders, congratulations. Great energy up there as well. My question is dealing with niche markets. You said you played football, and I'm assuming the 84 is what you were at the University of Missouri. Yeah. Have you formulated a relationship with the University of Missouri, the strength coach, and then maybe made your testimonial how it helps you as a football player?
Yes, I did. And that's how, when we go, for example, we go to these trade shows, okay? For last January, we started in Kansas City. We drove to Cleveland, Louisville, Baton Rouge, Houston, San Antonio, LA, San Francisco, Denver, and back to Kansas City, going to 6 different trade shows, okay? And on the trip, I would text my coach and say, hey, coach, I'm about to stop at Ohio State. Can you call them and get me a meeting? And he would call them, get a meeting. We give them a pitch. They buy 15. Did that, and that's how it worked. And really on Facebook, it's pretty simple. If you pull up that, let me pull up this slide. Sorry. Sorry. Here it is. Okay. I know you probably can't really see this, but so to your point, let's say we're targeting Facebook or targeting football players. We create a more intense ad for football players, and we target football players or high school football and different NFL, different things around that. And then we test all these different ads at a $200 budget. It's kind of how we start. And then based on all these different ad success metrics is what we see if that's working for us or not. So we'll make an ad for football. We'll make an ad for yoga, different demographics, testing the length of the video. We're testing male, female, age demographics, their different interests, running, P90X, in-home workouts, weight loss, ab workouts. We're testing all this different stuff, changing the music on the ad. We're changing if there's a voiceover or not. We're changing 2 minutes versus 30 seconds and seeing which one is converting at the highest rate, which one is the most success based off these metrics. And then they move down here into stage 2. We increase the budget, and then we kind of keep doing that until it kind of runs out, and we just keep running those ads. And then on some of these, you might see like percent of video views, right? So we might get an ad that people are watching 75% of it, but we're not converting. So there's not necessarily a good enough call to action. So we'll test different things like that. And that's kind of how we really, to your point, like we're not going to be able to scale going to all these trade shows and selling to universities. That's not necessarily our market. That's like our tier 2. That'll help build the value of the brand.
Got a question on the right.
Love the story, love the excitement behind it and everything. Just a couple quick questions, probably twofold. I know on your website you guys have a good, better, best pricing model. Can you talk a little bit about, so the Omni balls, you know, obviously are very intriguing for people who cross-train and who need to work out in less time, which it feels like that's more people these days. Is there going to be an ability to increase the weight, so if somebody wants to have more of a challenge, they can either increase the types of workouts that they're doing more accurately, or increase the weight so that if you do go to a Missouri football, obviously I'm a lot skinnier than you, I'm a lot less fit, so I might need the 4-pound weights, whereas you might need heavier weights. Can you talk about that? And then secondly, can you talk a little bit about kind of how you're going to sell the product? QVC or big retailers or that type of stuff as far as consumer to or selling it just direct to consumer or business to business.
Yeah, for sure. Will you play that and just turn the sound down? The one cool thing about our company, if you look at like P90X Insanity, right? You order 12 DVDs or the Total Fat Burn or whatever it is that's targeted for women. You have 2 totally different demographics. What our app allows us to do is to put all those videos right in your face. So this is more of a yoga type feel that we can market on Facebook, get them to download the app, download the yoga type workouts, and for those people. So they're never going to see the football, the CrossFit, the high intensity workouts based on their interest on Facebook. We do have those type of different packages, and that's really what we're really testing right now is have a landing page for yoga, right? And have all the different, every commercial that they're going to see is more a yoga feel. And we try to really push the limits of this because there's such a negative connotation towards infomercial products.
Question right here in the front.
Hey, Tommy, I just want to compliment you on all your graphics and your marketing and so forth. One thought, or just a question, have you thought about changing your domain from Gmail to something else like Tommy.com or something like that, just to legitimize it so it doesn't, because that seems to take it down a notch from everything else you've got going on.
Yeah, we're in the process. We started out Rock 360, we went to Feudum Fitness, and now we're going to Omniball Training. So it's like this pivoting all the time. And so now we're in that transition of going to Omniball Training, and that's, the answer is yes. I have Tommy at fewdm.com, but we're moving to Omniball Training, so we're just in this process of like, don't want to market Feudum, and I don't want to market Omniball Training because it's not there. So we're just trying to keep stuff that's stationary right now.
Question in the back center.
2 questions. Number 1, do you guys really think it was a good idea to get married while you're starting a business together? But my real question is, relative to some of the people that get up on the stage, you guys really have your stuff together, and it's very impressive. And I'm curious, can you guys talk about your journey together, how this came about, how you've come to really have things figured out at the level that you do?
Yeah, the first thing I'll say about, we've been together for 3 years now and worked together for almost 2 years. So it has been a process. Working with your significant other is challenging at times, but I always say, when you have successes, there's no one better to really be with when things go right. But Tommy and I always talk about the steep, or anybody in here who's an entrepreneur knows that the learning curve is very steep. I graduated with a magazine journalism degree. Tommy, played sports. Obviously, he has a degree.
General studies. It's not Mizzou journalism.
So we really did have to learn, excuse me, we really had to learn as we went along. We made a lot of mistakes, but we took every single one of those mistakes and we tried to turn it into a lesson. And I think we're just all the better for it. Tommy works insane hours, and we just try. You have to have the passion behind it and want it to succeed, and you'll figure it out. That's all it is to it for us.
We've got one final question for you, and that is, as a community, what can we do to help you?
Well, that's funny you ask. Okay, I want everybody to grab their phone and go follow me on Instagram or Twitter, or save my email right now. Grab your phone, go follow me on Instagram or Twitter.
And if you guys could get, this exposure with the television show is going to be huge for us, but we are really passionate about the growth and the opportunities here in Kansas City, and you guys all represent that growth. So if in any way you can spread the word, if you guys work out, if you can spread the word about, our products, because they're obviously better than what people are using right now. So if you could just spread the word, just talk about it if you can, because it's important for us to be known here locally.
And we want to I want to build a community here in Kansas City. We've gone out, we're really finding that Kansas City is such a huge, there's so much support here. Networking, I'm meeting these people all over Kansas City. I'm like, hey, can you help me? I just want to get introduced to some people. They'll introduce me to 10 different people. So I want to start building a connection with, this isn't to get my followers up, but I want to start building a connection with Kansas City. And so we're going to start a Kickstarter. I want to be able to talk about that. If you guys have your products and your services, I want to be able to talk with you and really learn. Our biggest thing is growing our company and networking with the people that of how to do that in the right way. We're trying to learn and adapt as we go. So any help that you guys have, any questions, any advice as we're getting prepared for this reality show and trying to scale our business, we're open to it. We want to get better. So thank you guys so much for listening to us.
Thank you guys so much. A great presentation. Thank you. We've got a few quick announcements. I'd like to bring up Alicia very quickly from the Innovation Summit, KC.com, to talk about a special opportunity to get some grant funding, and I'll just let her tell you very quickly what she's doing.
My name's Alicia Hooks, and I'm with the Kansas City, Kansas Community College, and we're wanting to get our feet wet in the entrepreneurial arena. As of January this year, we decided to open up an entrepreneurial center, and because of that, we wanted to participate in investing in business ideas, existing businesses, new products, inventions. So we got together with our sponsors, and we have $10,000 that we'd like to invest into a business. When you register, you'll see the little blue cards. When you register, registration is free, and then your video goes on a national showcase that will leave up so free marketing and advertising for a year for you. And so all you have to do, you or anybody that you know that has an idea, a product, invention, whether you're generating revenue or not, we need you to register before September 12th. And I asked if I could have a couple of minutes because I talked to a lot of people who have wonderful ideas who said they're scared to go ahead and go online with this. Just take the chance. You have nothing to lose. We need over 100 folks to register before September 12th. You all know the judges. They're local folks that we have on board. Stephen Key, well, he's not local, but you know Stephen Key. We've partnered with the Inventor Center for the Innovation Weekend. We're starting out with the Innovation Summit. There'll be an expo where you can display your businesses and business ideas and then go right into Make 48 right after that. So hopefully a lot of people will register today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Alicia. Also, on your seats, there is a flyer for Connecting for Good. It says a celebration of digital equality at the Think Big Co-working. This is actually this Friday, so I don't think there was a date on it, but if you've got one on your seat, this is for this Friday. Very quickly, before I bring up our next speaker, can I see a show of hands of anyone who has been here to 1 Million Cups 10 times or more? I saw the first hand to go up over here, this gentleman in the blue shirt. Why don't you come on up front here for just a quick moment? We just want to say a special thank you. This is our way of giving something back to those who come out and support us each week. Tell us what your name is, why you come to 1 Million Cups.
Hi, my name is Travis Flayens. I come to 1 Million Cups because it's a nice hump day break. I work by myself, for myself, so it's nice to get out and see other people's point of views of the world.
Excellent. Thanks so much for coming, and we want to give you this cool 1 Million Cup. Thank you very much. Thank you. So as we get ready to bring up our next presenter, Michael Gelfman from Disruption Institute. The Disruption Institute is basically a career accelerator, and they teach people how to code in a 10-week course for the iOS mobile apps. Michael is going to come and tell us a little bit more. I believe they're just launching. He's got a lot of exciting things going on. Let's welcome Michael to the stage.
Thank you. Thanks. So I want to start with a question. How many people here have been in a situation where you wanted an opportunity, but somebody wouldn't give you a chance? Just raise your hand. Everybody should definitely raise their hand. We've all been there. So I want to tell a story about Andrew. Andrew took our first class at Disruption Institute, and he was a recruiter making $30,000 a year, no health insurance, 2 kids at home, one was a toddler. And so essentially, he wanted to learn iOS development, and he said that he would do anything to take advantage of this program and make it happen. And so he actually did that. No coding experience. In 12 weeks, he got 2 apps into the App Store. One was a guessing game, and then the other was an app to teach his kids the Spanish alphabet. And so even after he completed the program, he showed his progress, this amazing feat. There was companies that wouldn't give Andrew a chance. He was facing that situation where he was passionate about this. He had his work product, and he didn't meet these check boxes. He didn't meet requirements. And so luckily, there was a company that came along, great company here in Kansas City, with a great culture, InTouch Solutions, and they gave him a junior iOS developer position. He worked there for about a year. they saw his passion for what he was doing, and they basically, gave him that opportunity. And so the next class was about to start. He called me up to say that he was actually moving to Chicago to work for IBM. So essentially, he's gone from 0 coding experience to a senior mobile developer at one of the best tech companies in the world in less than 2 years. Some of his apps are actually on the Apple homepage under Enterprise, the section. And so it's really an incredible story. This is kind of what drives us to do what we do. And so, I think, what if Andrew had kind of given up when people told him that, these things weren't possible, that he didn't meet these requirements? And I think those are all the kind of questions we all face as entrepreneurs is like, you have your passion and you want to do these things, and there's going to be people that are going to tell you that you can't do it, and either you have a choice, either you do it or you don't. And so all the things that we do with the Disruption Institute all kind of combine into community. So over the past 7 years, the foundation of what we do is Kansas City IT Professionals. It's a tech community of 13,000 people. It's one of the largest in the nation. And building that over 7 years has been a lot of work, but we started solve all the opportunities that we had to impact the future of Kansas City. And so one of those is the Disruption Institute, to really educate people, empower people to create things and help them get jobs and create entrepreneurship. One of the other things that we do is events. So we've got an event called Compute Midwest. How many of you guys have heard of it? All right, so essentially it's a conference to imagine the future. This is our 4th year. We're actually expanding to 2 days, and we're really excited about it. It's been in Forbes 8 times. It's been featured in Fast Company. It's been in Inc. We've had amazing speakers like the founder of iRobot, the CTO of NASA, and some other amazing speakers. This year, it's happening October 22nd and 23rd. I'd love to see some of you guys there. We've got a Stanford fellow who's going to talk about self-driving cars. We've got the guy who actually built the first iPhone for Steve Jobs, the former director of mission operations for SpaceX, and a bunch of other just amazing, inspiring people. And so the Disruption Institute is the educational piece, and then the conference is a way to inspire people in both ways. This brings people together for a short period of time, but then the educational piece is a long-term play. So those are our 2 strategies to sort of build the community. And I'd love to bring Jennifer Carnes up here. Jennifer just joined our team. Some of you probably know her from Kaufman Labs. She built the entire coding classes from scratch, and so I'm really excited to have her as part of this, what we're doing at the Disruption Institute. So our next class is coming up on September 8th, and next week. We teach people iOS in 10 weeks, and then as we build this program out, we're doing more iOS and Android and web. So definitely looking for some help from the community to try and get the word out. So if you know people like Andrew, you know people that are motivated, that want to make a change or entrepreneurial, then those are the people that we're looking for. You have anything to say? You want to say something?
Good morning, everybody. So I just started with the Disruption Institute a few months ago. Mike brought me on because of the experience I had with Kaufman Labs and building the coding classes there for people who are wanting just to learn a new language and figure out if that was the thing for them. I'm hoping to take this to where it's the coding classes that I had at Labs, but to the next level. If you do know of anybody who is interested in code, has a little bit of experience or none at all, this is the place to go. We have that 10-week course where 3 of the days of the week, it's instructor-based. The 4th day is with mentors. It's exercise and project-based. So that way, as you're going along through the curriculum, you have things to be able to show and put in your portfolio. There is a final project that's worked on in the last 2 weeks. And the exciting thing about this class that's getting ready to start, its demo day will be during GEW. So the people who will be a part of this 10-week course starting next week, they'll have the opportunity to really show off their stuff to a lot larger crowd and potential employers.
So we'd like to go ahead and open it up to questions with the audience. If I can start, where do you guys currently host the classes now?
We're at East Brookside. It's up and coming. It's 63rd and Rock Hill Road, so right there on the corner.
Just down the street.
Yeah.
Got a question here in the front.
Hi. Are you guys connected with Connecting for Good, Digital Drive, helping bridge the digital divide? So getting people who are just now getting access to broadband or high-speed broadband, teaching them to code.
Yeah.
And then the second question is there some part of your curriculum that also helps people with the newfound coding skills to develop their own business maybe and teach a few basic business classes and ideas about maybe how to run a small, like, ad hoc business for themselves?
Yeah, so the second question that you asked was, the entrepreneurial mindset. We don't necessarily do anything that's related to starting a business. That's mainly the job of the rest of the startup community, what Kaufman's doing here. We fill kind of a different niche, but we do encourage the entrepreneurial mindset. Basically the same mentality of not giving up, sort of agile principles of building and shipping products in MVP fashion, just enough to get it out the door, and just to think, that's what we look for is a mindset over anything else. There's some people that from the development field that would have you believe that this is only reserved for certain people who are engineering minded, but we've seen success from people that just don't give up, and that's the first thing we look for. It's extremely hard, but the brain, is something that's malleable. It's a sponge. If you are determined to do something, you can do this. You may not be the best coder, but to the other option on the digital divide, did you have something?
We are starting to work with some of the nonprofits. We're actually going to be meeting with Launch Code next week. We are looking to work with more of the community in the nonprofit area, like the digital divide, and make sure that there is opportunity for them.
Got a question here in the middle.
How much is your course?
It's $6,000 for a 10-week class. The other piece is that essentially what happens is this is more than just a 10-week class. The kind of community that we built around KC Professionals is the same practice that we utilize for Disruption Institute. And so for that, we bring in the mentors. They work directly with the students. And so each class that graduates, the hope is that they'll help mentor the class behind them, and so on and so forth. So you build out this ecosystem where people are helping each other. They're building relationships. There's a tremendous value in that network. And so aside from just the curriculum that helps them learn, it's building long-term relationships. And so we've, like I said, seen a lot of success, people like Andrew and other stuff like that. So,
Question to your right.
Hello, I'm Jacob Gehrig. I'm a recent graduate of Goshen College, and I'm a programmer. I have a question. Are you planning on, at any point in the future, like having a class that just teaches marketing? Because I know a lot of programmers, as I am one, and we don't know anything about marketing applications or digital products. We just aren't taught that. We're just taught the coding. Do you have any plans for any classes along those lines in the future, maybe?
That is definitely a possibility. We have come across that. In part of the course, we do have the UX and UI portion that helps people figure out the design of things, which is part of the marketing, is going towards what your customer is wanting. I'd love to talk to you more and get some of your ideas of what you're looking for in marketing to see if we can't make it part of our curriculum. Thank you.
We have a question on your left over here.
So how did you come up with the idea of Disruption Institute, and why did you come up with 10 weeks as the optimal length of your course?
Initially started out as 12. Came up with the idea, we saw all these other coding schools around the nation kind of popping up, and really thought about, the distribution that we had in the tech community with all those individuals. At that time, I think it was around 9,000 or 10,000 members, but realizing that the opportunity to make an impact there, the expertise that we had access to in terms of developers and all that stuff and the community that we built. Really, that was the idea of it to make a long-term impact. Events are, they're a lot of fun. It's a lot of setup just for a couple days, and so it's really thinking through, what do we think the community needs, and how do we get there? Like I said, there's 7 years of investment into building the KC professionals, so we're in this for the long haul. And the 10 weeks, we discussed, a lot of the length on that end, and really optimizing it for, compressing it into, here's a jump start to get started. We can't cover everything, but it's teaching people how to learn. There's developers that have been doing development for 5 to 7 years or even more, and they're at a point where, there's still stuff that they don't know. The point is to be able to look at the documentation and understand how to teach yourself that stuff. And so we give them the fundamentals, and our curriculum's been thoroughly debated amongst multiple, some of the best mobile engineers, and really here are the core things that we cover. So,
Question here on your right. So who would you say is your ideal client, or I guess student? Is it the new entrepreneur, so to speak, within the tech community, or is it a developer that's looking for a career actually in development?
That's the interesting thing about coding. It has such a wide range of people who are interested in it. We've had people all the way from, middle schoolers, all the way to people who are in their 60s and 70s wanting to just add a new skill onto their resume, or even just change their career and do something for themselves. The sweet spot that we're looking at is that early 20s to mid 30s range, because they are the more sponge-like right now for learning to code. Coding is a very frustrating piece, but everybody has the opportunity to learn it. So we don't discriminate against the age whatsoever, because we want to be able to help everybody.
Got a question in the back?
Thank you. I was wondering if the Disruption Institute is open to taking your courses online to outside of the US. I come from Pakistan, and I know we've got a lot of women who'd be interested and who are great coders without any formal education, and they'd love an opportunity like this.
Yeah, we've discussed this, a lot of the scalability of it. When you talk about having an instructor, paying that instructor to do the same coursework and the same lectures over and over, we want to make some of this stuff repeatable. And we talked about, building a product. One of our value props is that, there's tons of resources available out there, but there's nothing like having a group of students in one classroom together, going through that same struggle. So they're all, there's going to be a learning curve there, and if they all get bound together, then there's a lot of learning things there that they can take part in. And so the experience is different when you're not in the classroom. However, sharing some of that knowledge and highlighting the expertise that we've got in Kansas City, there's no reason why we shouldn't do that. So that's something we're looking into.
Got another question here in the middle, to your right.
Three-part question. How big is a class size? How many people do you usually have sign up? In total, since you have started the Disruption Institute, how many have you come through the program? And then also, how many success stories do you have of actual job placements after they graduate?
So job placement-wise, we have about a 83% placement rate. Some of the companies that have hired are IBM, Burns & Mac, Bernstein Rain, InTouch, Xamarin, which is more of a San Francisco company. How many people have come through? I want to say we've had around 20 or so. We're getting things going, and but our basic core class size is probably no larger than 20 at a time. We want to have smaller classes because that's really where the learning happens. You get it too big, there's just too much to kind of manage and facilitate, and people can get lost in the shuffle. And so this isn't about pushing people through something and just accepting everybody. We want to make sure that we get motivated people, kind of like Andrew.
To kind of piggyback onto that question, do you guys have any plans for the future as far as like if a student goes through this first course and they learn, either a basic set of skills for developing for iOS or Android, what if they want to kind of like expand on those skills in a next phase, if they want to come back, next semester or next year type of setup?
So next year we are building on a iOS class along with an Android and front-end development. So we're going to be doing a lot of JavaScript. We're working and in discussions with quite a few companies around the Kansas City area on how to build our curriculum and what they're looking for. So there's definitely the possibility of having like an advanced class, like an iOS 2.0 or advanced class that could come about. But right now we're concentrating on our niche of mobile with the addition of the front-end development because we've been told that is something that a lot of the companies here are looking for.
Got a question over here on your left?
As you said, there's lots of companies in this space of training tech stuff. And I'm curious where you are in your evolution of understanding how to market to your customer versus your user. Those may be one and the same. The person who's paying to take the class may be the person who actually wants the skills, but there may be a marketplace where there's someone else paying for the participant to go through the class. That may be an educational institution, that may be a company. Where are you in that and sorting out the customer versus the user?
Thought a lot about how to make this happen for people, and get the right people. So there's a few different models that we've looked at, and the types of people that take the class. There's entrepreneurs who don't have access to mobile developers. It's very difficult to find people, and so one of the things that we've kind of found is that some of the people that are most successful have that entrepreneurial mindset. We've actually had an individual that took the class who actually owned his own acupuncture practice. He took it, he didn't want a job, he wanted to build his own electronic medical health record app. And he ended up building an app for Union Pacific, for a railway company, for his brother-in-law to actually do field test reports for the people on the rail line. And so, that got us thinking about, expanding our target market to also include entrepreneurs and telling that story of where, for $6,000, you may not be the best coder, but at least you can build an MVP and really think through that. Because for you to take the time and try and find a mobile developer is basically, I wouldn't say near impossible, but pretty close to it. And so if you took that time and invested it into learning, then you could basically build your own thing for, a small app, mobile app is like 15 to 20K. So there's a return there. You can basically turn it, have somebody else kind of revamp code. We've looked at, multiple income streams. We were talking to corporations about having people trained through there. Also, the students who are interested in it. And there's quite a few different types. I mean, the community we have is all professionals. There are lots of developers and already experienced people, but then we also have people who are new to development. So hopefully that helps to answer it.
Got another question in the back.
Hey guys. So first of all, I highly encourage everyone in here to go check out Compute Midwest. It's not just for techies. I've been all 3 years and left every year with my mind blown, and I wasn't paid or asked to say that. But my question is, can you talk about how the conference and you mentioned kind of how this comes together, how do you kind of feed each of these things off of each other? I know there's a lot of integration with the conference and the IT professionals and the class.
It's, some people know about one aspect, but they don't know about all three. It's, there's a lot going on there. But really the community piece is the foundation of it. That's where we start. And then, realizing with the event, how we can expand and kind of inspire people. Again, short term, this one's a 2-day conference. So really that's an opportunity to bring people in and get people, new ideas injected into the community, whether it's 3D printing, space travel, all these things that, you kind of look at and you're like, well, that's not really relevant to me. But then when you think about somebody sending a rover to Mars, I mean, it just makes everything seem so much more in reach. And the community and then the conference, all those things, it's kind of a windmill. They all feed each other. Somebody finds out about the conference is presented by the Disruption Institute. You know, and there's just, it's hard to explain how it works, but people find out about one and then they find out about the other, and they just kind of work in tandem to each other.
It's all about building relationships. So at the conference, you're able to have people, you know, a ton of people together for a couple of days. You come home with a huge stack of business cards, meeting all these people, hoping to be able to get in touch with all of them. And with the Disruption Institute, it's 10 weeks. You are in a smaller group of people, building a longer lasting relationship to where you'll know these people and possibly build something together. So they all coincide about building community, building the tech community larger, as Kansas City is supposed to be known as a tech hub now because of Google Fiber moving in. We're wanting to help grow that community more, build and grow tech people, coders, and really show off what Kansas City has.
I have a question on your right.
Yeah, just real quick, you know, you have students that are trying to build potentially a body of work, I think is what you said, or portfolio. Is there a way to create, you know, an expansion of your class setting to, I guess, integrate working for entrepreneurs who need the help? So as a condition of their quote unquote graduation, they have to finish something for entrepreneurs who maybe are in this room and can't afford to pay web developers to do stuff for them, but it becomes kind of a win-win for both the entrepreneur and the student, because the student's building their portfolio and the entrepreneur is getting something done. And I don't know if there's a way to integrate that in what you guys do, or if that's been a thought.
That's something we've definitely talked about, you know, in terms of helping entrepreneurs. Again, it's back to the whole thing about the MVP and what that costs to build. You know, it's still far cheaper for an entrepreneur to either take the class or potentially fund some people. You know, in terms of development work, that gets tricky. We definitely want people to build their portfolio. It gets tricky if you're, you know, making it conditional, and then how do you accept those ideas? Which ones are the good ones, and are we favoring other people over? You know, there's only so many students. So, but we definitely want to provide almost a cheaper development service, because once we get that scale going, we'll be able to give people those opportunities to build that portfolio and get, you know, at least some compensation to them.
We'll be talking with, we've had discussions with companies on projects that they want to work on that are lower priority, or they just don't have the time to work on. And I think it's something that we will incorporate into our alumni program, to where the ones who still need to build a portfolio, we'll give them the chance to be able to build on, and for the most part, kind of internship, shadow, and work with that company to build that lower priority project.
Thank you, guys. One last question. What can we as a supportive and disruptive community do for you?
To help us out, if you know of anybody with that type of entrepreneurial mindset who wants to learn something new, build onto their skill set, please refer them to us. We'd love to talk to them. If you have any ideas or projects of things that you're wanting to build but don't know a coder or can't afford a coder, talk to us as well. We'd love to be able to work with you. If you have any other questions or things like that, we'll be off to the side. And thank you, guys. This has kind of come full circle for me, as I started off setting up 1 million cups, so to present here is kind of an honor. So thank you, guys. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, all that fun stuff. Thanks.
Thank you, guys. That's 1 million cups for this week. We'll be here every Wednesday from 9 to 10. Thanks so much for coming. One quick thing. Launch KC just announced their 20 finalists, so be sure to check those out, and tell everybody who is a finalist, tell them congratulations.